kids, Misty here from TheJollyFatElf. Welcome to another video in my 2023 holiday card series, and welcome to the second video in my Doodlebug week. You guys know I love Doodlebug. So in today's video, I'm going to be combining a couple of stamp sets. Now, I don't know if they did it because of me, but I was probably one of many who begged them for years to do stamps. Please do stamps, please do stamps, please do stamps. And I feel like they kind of wet their feet with a couple of collaborations with Simon Says Stamp. And I am going to be combining one that was kind of exclusive to them. I don't know if it's still available or not. You guys know how I feel about Simon Says Stamp. And if you don't, I just don't like September. Anyway, and a gingerbread one from a couple of years ago. I haven't made this card yet, but that's kind of my thought process. We're going to be using some of the paper from this year, die cuts, etc. So it's going to be fun. I'm going to walk you through all of it. So yeah. So if you're new here, hi. Make sure you say hi in the comments so I can welcome you. Let me know where you're coming in from. If you haven't already, I hope you'll consider subscribing. We are inching toward 14K, and once we get there, I'm going to have a huge giveaway for you guys. What else? If you're interested in card kits, I have them linked in the description box down below. The price will be going up next week. So if you're interested in them, this is the time to get them. I am processing what has already been ordered, and as we go forward, there will be on a as ordered basis. What else? I think that's it. So let's head over to the craft table and I'll walk you through today's card. All right, friends, in today's video, I'm going to be using Christmas Squad, which was from Simon Says Stamp, and then Visions of Sugar Plum, which was from Doodlebug. And as I mentioned in the beginning, I don't know if Simon Says Stamp still has this stamp set, but it was very, very popular, and I'm very lucky to have been able to get the kit because it came in a kit. And they have another one they did with Doodlebug. It's something about punny. When That's So Much Pun, I think it's what it was called, collection came out. Anyway, so I am stamping all of the characters from Squad and then both of the larger gingerbread. And we're going to be doing some copic coloring. So initially I thought I would do this as a one layer card. And I'm like, no, Misty, you did that before. But if you have a keen eye, you probably saw that I stored the mask I created of these characters on my stamp set, and that's how I do all of them when I make a mask. So that's my tip from me to you. So before we get too far into this video, I just want to let you know, if you ordered a Christmas card kit, they're going to be a little bit later than anticipated. Not by much, but by a few days. The other day I was printing them, and I kept running into issues with my printer. And I have a laser printer. I've had this printer since like 2016, and it's worked fine up until this point, and I could not get it to print on cardstock. It didn't matter what thickness the cardstock was, it wouldn't do it. It'll print on printer paper just fine. The colors are beautiful, prints on printer paper just fine. But the whole purpose of these card kits is to be on cardstock so that they are a little bit sturdier. So Rob had to go buy me a printer. I'm sitting here looking at it. It's in a huge box on the floor. So eventually, maybe not today, hopefully tomorrow, Rob has bowling tonight. So I don't know if he's going to have time to get to it, but I will have it up and running, and then I can work on getting the kits out this weekend. So if you haven't placed your order for your card kit, you still have plenty of time. As I mentioned in the intro, they are going up in price next week, and I'm considering releasing a couple of just like small card kits, like, you know, just different cards where you can buy them to make a couple of them. You guys will have to let me know what you think of that in the comments down below. And also don't forget to say hi if you're new. So for the reds, I like to start darkest to lightest. That's just how I color. And I used a new combo. Normally I use 59, 46, 35 R, and this time I used R 46, 35, 24, and I actually like it. And then for the hair, I'm using C4, C2, and C0. Now you're like, Misty, you normally don't do gray for white. And you're right, I don't. But Mrs. Claus has gray hair, and to me, Santa has a little bit of gray in his beard. There you go. You're like, Misty, didn't you have gingerbread? I sure did. I sure did. Just move along. Mind your business. So I am doing some very minimal blending here on their skin. Actually for all of them. If you guys know me, I don't consider myself like the best colorer ever in my life. I also have very shaky hands and can get out of the lines. And that's just what happened with that gingerbread. I'd gotten so far out of the lines. I was like, ugh, I can't. Like it was more than gel pen was going to be able to cover up. So I just started all over. But I am not the type of colorer who colors with a light source in mind. I just color because I like to color images. So if you're here for in-depth tutorials on lighting, etc., I am not the one for you. I'm not the one for you. But if you just want some basic coloring that you can do and just add a little bit of depth and dimension, then I am the gal for you. So for the white, so on her apron, on his hat, on their hats, I'm just using BG10 and then going over it with the blender pen. And that way it just spreads it a little bit. You guys, and this is where I'm like, no, if it's supposed to be white, I don't like to add gray. But since hair is almost always gray, I know there's supposed to be a little bit of white, but whoop-a-doo, right? Okay. For the little doggy, he doesn't have a spot over his eye, but I wanted to add a spot over his eye. I thought that would be really, really cute. I am not someone who's going to try to do fur on these cute little images like this, so I did not. For the markers, I used E49, E27, 25, and 23, I believe. I stayed kind of cool toned. And again, not doing a whole lot of blending, but just trying to add a little bit of depth and dimension to this little pupper. So stinking cute. I love this. This stamp set has made it through rounds upon rounds of declutter. I think I've had this since like 2018 or 2019. I'd have to go look on Simmons' stamp for my order history to see, but I love it. Doodlebug, I'm not kidding you. When I say Doodlebug is one of my most favorite stamp companies, they are one of my most favorite stamp companies. I don't own a whole lot of their stamps, just because, now I did in the beginning and then I could never bring myself to use them. It's kind of like Hello Bluebird, which we'll probably do a Hello Bluebird week in a week or so. So keep an eye out for that. Oy vey. Let me know what else you guys want to see. We are going to do more religious cards. I'm going to save the nativity ones for the week before Christmas, just because I think leading up to that would be really fun and just, pretty. It's November 1st. We're putting up my Christmas tree next week. You'll have to sound off in the comments for when you put your Christmas tree up. But you guys know, you've heard me say it over and over again, Christmas is my happy place, whether it's Christmas crafting or just having the Christmas tree up with the garland and just being able to sit with all the lights off except for the Christmas tree and the garland all lit up. I love that so very much. And I've had a rough couple of months. Actually, all of 2023 has been kind of rough. And so if my Christmas tree will bring me just a little bit of joy at no cost to us, then I want to do that. Rob has agreed. I said, you don't have to decorate the outside for Christmas until after Thanksgiving. I said, but I would really like to put the Christmas tree up while you're on vacation. So he's doing a staycation the week of the 6th because I have like 3 doctor's appointments that week. So we're going to put it up then, but I am so stinking excited. I cannot wait. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to get a white Christmas tree because I had to buy a new printer. So, womp womp. But I do still love my big and beautiful purple tree. And I will try to film a little bit of footage of me decorating it. I know I'm going to get people going, it's time early. Well, Brenda, what you do in your house is your own business, right? If you don't want to put your Christmas tree up until closer to Christmas, okay, cool. But don't steal somebody else's joy. Just like I don't like pumpkin spice latte, but I'm not going to, complain if somebody likes it. Or candy corn. Same thing, candy corn. Oh my word, I just found the hole punch I was looking for yesterday and bought a new one. Rob's like, just wait, you'll open it and you'll find it. Oh, don't tell him. Anywho, so for the little like collar and their buttons and the bow, I brought in some glitter gel pens. I just picked these up off Amazon. I'm using a red and a green with gold on the pup, and then using the gold and the black for Santa's belt. Later, I come back and add red on Mrs. Claus's bow, but at the time, I just added glitter for her earrings. Now we're going to get everything cut out. And this is basically the main reason why I didn't do a 1-layer card, because I have all the dies. And plus, I did 1-layer cards last week. So I felt like this was a little bit different. But I knew that I had this idea in mind of 3 little vignettes. So this is a die set from Catherine Pooler. It's called Slimline Essentials, I think. And I don't know if it's still available, but it's one of my most used slimline dies ever. It has like this scallop border, and then you can put this metal in it, and it cuts out, and you'll see that in a minute. So this is some glitter paper I picked up off Amazon. It's A7. A7? A4? A7? A4? I don't remember, but I don't remember what size it is, but it's actually really pretty, and it doesn't flake off, and it's a nice and really pretty chunky glitter. So I believe it said A7. I don't remember, you guys, but it's not 8.5 by 11. I don't think. I honestly don't remember. Don't let me lie to you guys. Oh my word, my brain. If I could do anything for Christmas, I would ask for my brain to be back. That's my grown-up Christmas wish. That and my genetic test results. If I could get all of my testing done and back by the end of the year, I will be a very, very, very happy camper. Let me tell you. So you'll see when I cut this out that it kind of gives you 3 little spots. If you guys were with me a couple of years ago, I did a card for Scrapbook Pal, where it was like 3 different levels, and it was the stamp set from MFT. This is kind of the same thing. So the other day when I made the birthday card or the Christmas card using the birthday stamp set, I made these backgrounds because I had all of that extra texture paste left over. I was like, oh, I'll just make a couple of other backgrounds, and these were those. Now, this is a little tricky because they are raised, but I went ahead and brought in some blue ink from, I believe this is Pink Fresh Studio, and just went ahead and ink blended on top of it. I didn't go all the way down to the bottom because I just wanted it to look like the sky, and we're going to go ahead and get that adhered and get that cut off. So the way I decided to adhere this are with the foam strips that I got off of Amazon. Listen, Amazon is here almost every day of the week. Okay. Maybe not quite that often, but I do get a lot off on Amazon, and it's just quicker. And most of that is because I don't always remember. And if I'm willing to wait if I don't need it next day. You know, I'm willing to wait and order from different companies. But if it's something where I'm like, okay, listen, I really need this tomorrow, then I will go ahead and get it. So I'm using the foam tape to adhere this to the background. And this is kind of for 2 reasons. Number 1, you need a strong adhesive because it's textured. But number 2, I also wanted it to look like a frame. And I wanted to be able to have these cute little characters popped up and it looked like a frame. So I really accomplished that, and I love this card. It will be available in the Etsy shop probably this weekend. It's not available yet, but it will be. And unfortunately, I didn't think ahead to scan the little peoples. So yeah, I think I still have a card with the Black Santa and Black Mrs. Claus with this stamp set. Now that I've said that out loud, I'm not quite sure. Okay, so we're making a slimline card. I like to cut my paper at 7 by 11 and then score it at 3.5. And that makes a 3.5 by 8.5 inch folded card. And it's just about the perfect size for a slimline for me. There's no weird cutting. You're left with a 3.5 inch piece that can go on the front if you want it to. Etc. So yeah, but I've decided that this is worked out the best for me. You can still see my bruise from my IV from last week. I'll apologize. I'm having another procedure on Friday and I have to be there at 6 for a 7 a.m. procedure. And they're going to do an IV because it's going to be with sedation. And I bought this kind of hand warmer on Amazon. That was the main thing. That's like how it started this whole Amazon thing, because I cannot get a vein that early in the morning because I'm dehydrated. You know, your MPO, if they're going to put you to sleep. So I'm dehydrated. It's bomb early in the morning and my veins are like, no ma'am, no thank you. So I bought this hand warmer because when I had my IVIG a couple of years ago, she was like, let's put some warm heat. I was like, oh, what does that do? She's like, that will bring your veins up to the surface. And I was like, okay. So I told Rob, I was like, I'm going to put that on about an hour before we need to be there and see if that helps me bring up a vein, because there's nothing worse when they cannot get a stick, let me tell you. So I believe the sentiment I pulled out is from Our Squad to Yours, Merry Christmas. And it's a long, thin strip. So we are going to add that. First, I had to add a little shimma. And this is that. And so I am using, there's grid paper. I have grid paper on my stamp positioner. And I'm just trying to get it positioned on the grid paper where it's kind of straight. You guys know me. I never have anything perfectly straight. And at the end of the day, that's just going to have to be okay because that's just who I am. That's just who I am. We've talked about this before. But it's a fun little sentiment. And I thought it would work perfectly above their heads. It's not, it's not huge. So it's not very intrusive. So yeah. So I'm going to leave a spot kind of in the middle so we can straddle that glitter paper. So I'm going to end up putting two layers of foam tape. So I'm taking off the backer paper and then putting on another sheet. And once I do that, we're done. So that's it. Thank you so much for joining me today, friends. I really do appreciate you. If you haven't already, I hope you'll consider subscribing. Don't forget to leave me a comment. And yeah, I hope you have a good day, night, week, wherever you are. Love your faces. I'll see you on Friday for another video. I've already started that gingerbread house. It's going to be so stinking cute. Okay, bye for now.